Okay guys, what I'm going to be doing here is having a chat about my film, the film trailer, obviously talking to you guys about it. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to watch it through, and I'm going to be stopping at different parts just to give you guys, an insight into where my thoughts are coming from on the whole thing. Generally evaluate different bits, tell you why everything's where it is, and just like I say, just show you guys what exactly I wanted in the different scenes. Actually visually be able to see them. I'm videoing myself doing this because I want you guys to see my expressions to everything and generally how I can talk about it, and also I think I can best express myself by rambling a little bit. It is a fully rambling review of my film trailer. Okay, so we're going to watch the first few seconds, the opening sequence, and then I'll get chatting about that. Okay. A bit slow when showing my trailer, so everything's a little bit jumpy. Unfortunately, that's just a technical error. I've tried to get that working properly, but it's just not doing it. But anyway, okay, so those are the first 14 seconds, and it's just the opening sequence. The black, the chair, the bits of dribbling, etc. Okay, so the reason for that was that I really wanted to just fade into everything, quite conventionally fade in. Okay, now it's quite almost mysterious how it's just this chair. We don't really understand why there's this chair, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the audience to think, well, why? And then obviously you see the ball dribbling, and that's kind of like, okay, basketball, wheelchair. You put two and two together. This is a film about wheelchair basketball. How different? I want to watch this. I want to find out why. What exactly is the reason for this? So that's the first bit that I want to put in there, just to really set everything up. I want to set up, people are going to think, well, why is it being set up this way? What's going to happen, etc. And then also you've got a J-Wars production that shows up in the bottom right of the screen. That's there to just be conventional. Whilst I want this trailer to really advertise the film, I also want it to advertise me. That's what the point of a film is. You advertise your company, you get more work. Okay, you make a good film, you get more work, but people need to know who you are. Okay, that a J-Wars production sticks in people's heads. Okay, it's there, it's quite loudly there. All the rest of it. Okay, and the ball dribbling, that's there to show the wheelchair, the basketball aspect. But it's also there to break it up a little bit. Everything's breaking up, so you're not getting bored. Okay, so on to the next part. Okay, so there's next few seconds. The reason for that is that it then goes away from everything. We cut to a guy on a bed. Well, we fade to a guy on a bed, looking upset, looking troubled. We think, okay, this guy has problems. That's what I want to think. I want the audience to think, well, okay, so he has some kind of problem here. But what is the problem? Now, the first thing an audience is going to jump to is, well, he's in a chair. Maybe there's a problem with him. Maybe it's his disability that's his problem. Maybe that's what's upsetting him. And then also the next bit where he's pushing away is supposed to symbolise he's pushing away from his problems. He's going away from everything. This wheelchair basketball is what gets him away from his problems. So we're led to think, okay, so this guy is troubled, and he uses basketball as a way to get out of his problems. Those are the first two things that I wanted to set up in the trailer. Okay, also adds a bit of mystery to it. This guy is laid on the bed, and yes, we think, well, maybe it's his disability that's the problem, but then we think, actually, that might not be the problem. That's a very big thing. That's a very, very big conclusion to jump to. It's quite, so an audience. So this, really does lead on to the next part. Okay, which I will start to show you now. And also, whilst I'm there, the debut director, Jack Warren, comes up. Me. That's another thing. So it's movie conventions. That's what I really wanted. Movie conventions. Whilst it's a controversial film, whilst it's meant to be different, there's some conventions you have to stick to. Okay, like putting that debut director in, that J-Wars production, and I'll be putting the actors' names in later in the thing. It needed to look like a trailer. I didn't want it to look like a short film, which is unfortunately what it was starting to look like until that was there, because the whole thing tends to show a little bit of the story. Right, so they're in there to make it look like a trailer, so that people understand that it's a trailer. You're not getting everything here. If it looks like a short film, they're going to think, that's it, story over, we understand. That's not the story. There's so much more in it than the trailer lets forward. Okay, so let's go with the next part. Okay, so we're going to stop it there, just because there's a big key difference in this. Okay, the big key difference is the music change. We've gone from this quite peaceful, almost you don't realise it's there kind of sound, you know, it grabs the audience. If the audience has fallen asleep in these few boring bits, that brings them back, okay? You know, it brings them back to it, okay, why, what's happening, well, you know, what was that? And that's the change of pace now. He's not just now troubled, now something's happening. We understand he's got troubles, but now we're seeing something that has actually happened. You know, he's pushing in a dark alley. And then we're seeing these hoodies walking towards him. Already, before anything's happened, I want an audience to feel uneasy. There's a music change. There's a dark alley. Everything's dark. You can't really see much. An audience is therefore going to feel uneasy. That's what I wanted them to feel. I wanted them to feel almost out of place. You know, so they're thinking now, well, what's happening? Why do I feel so uneasy? I want to know what's happening. Let's watch the next bit, you know. And also I've got editing by Jay was there, more movie conventions, you know, just in there, make it look like a trailer and generally advertise myself whilst I'm doing it. Okay, so let's watch the next bit. In fact, I think the next bit is quite crucial. I think the next bit. Let's go. Okay, this next little bit. Okay, again, there's a change of pace, there's a change of music. It's different. The audience is now hearing this upbeat music. It's now the full front thing of the actual trailer. It's the music now. Instead of the visuals being the full thing, it's now the music. Okay, that's grabbing our attention. We want to know why this music's now taken over. What's going to happen? Okay, we've also seen this guy walk up. The hoodies have surrounded him. We're thinking, oh no, we know what's happening. You know, the audience are going to think, this isn't really happening, is it? You know, they're going to be quite upset by it, and that's what I wanted. I want people to think that, Jesus, you can't just show a guy in a wheelchair getting beaten up. That's what they want to do. You know, that's what they're going to lead up to. Now, this next bit, I think, is just the absolute most powerful bit of the entire trailer. I'm going to show it, okay, and then I'm going to talk about exactly why, okay. Alright, we've got another bloody technical error. Let's go back. Oh no. More technical errors. Okay, now I'd like to say that is the most powerful bit of my entire film trailer. I'm sorry I'm having some technical errors with everything, just the way computers work. But yeah, we can see how the guy is being pulled to the floor, and then we get an over-the-top view of him getting beaten up. You know, we see his face. You know, that's what I want to see. I want you to see his facial expressions, show the pain on his face. You know, that's what I wanted to show. You can hear him. I've even upped the audio so you can hear him almost crying about. You know, crying. This is what it is, okay? Now, the reason I wanted to put this particular scene in of everything was just to show some modern life problems, you know, look, you know, people are getting desperate, you know, it's what happens in the world. People are getting desperate. People will do anything to keep on top. Now, no, I'm not saying that everybody in the world goes out there and beats up disabled people, because that's not wrong. That's not right at all. You know, that's completely wrong. But what I am showing is the desperation on people, where they need to go out there and just fend for themselves. You know, he's got mugged in this scene. It's powerful. You know, it really shows. You know, people are getting desperate. People are wanting any option they can to get things. You know, so they're willing to go out there and do something like this. Okay, now, again, I'm sorry about technical issues, that's just a problem with it all. Okay, and let's keep on going. I wanted to do that a bit separately because I wanted the walking away. Okay, I wanted to just talk about this bit a bit separately. Alright, now the hoodies are walking away from what's just happened. They're not proud of it. You know, nobody in this world should be proud of beating up anybody. Never mind just a guy in a wheelchair. You know, nobody in this world is proud of beating up anybody. Like, they're not proud of it. They're walking away from this. They're just leaving him there and walking away. You know, they're just trying. You know, so if these people, whilst yes, we see them as bad guys, they're not bad people. They just have bad circumstances, and that's what I'm trying to get around about British youth. A lot of them aren't bad people. They just have some horrible circumstances they have to deal with, and this is perhaps the only way they can get through them is by going out there and mugging people. You know, anyone they can. Okay, now they're walking away, the chair on the floor, that's what that bit wants to symbolise, you know, it's quite powerful. Also, over the past few scenes, we've had the names of the actors come up. We've had Luke Thomas and Rhys Kite so far, they're the two actors. There's also one more that's coming up very soon, that's Charlotte. That's there for just movie conventions again, you know, that's what's there, you want people to know that they're there. You know, I'm a man who wants people to be happy. You know, if the actors' names are there, they're in there. You know, these are all novice, amateur actors. They want to get noticed. If this is the way they get noticed, their names need to be there. You know, they're going to be happy that their names are there. Happy actors work harder, and not only that, it is quite conventional. You know, that's what films do. They have the actors' names there, so so it adds something to the camera. You know, it adds them to the camera. People want to know who they're watching, who they are actually watching. You know, whilst they're watching a story that doesn't include those real people, they want to know who it is portraying those real people. Okay, now on to the last few scenes. Alright, so what we've got here is actually, I've gone a bit too far there, let's go back a little bit. Alright, what we've got there is we've got Charlotte coming over and seeing a very, very depressed looking, you know, Luke. He sat there, he doesn't look happy. You know, we understand now as an audience why he's not happy. He has so much to deal with, you know, and now he's getting beaten up. You know, he's living in a small mining town, you know, we realise that he's got these problems, you know, so we can see the result of these problems. You know, he's sat on his own, he's isolated, he's got nobody, you know, and then we see Charlotte come along. Now, we've not seen her in the trailer before, and I think the implication with this is that actually she is around, but she doesn't maybe understand that Luke is going through these problems, but she's still there. You know, she's Luke's friend, you know, and then we realise actually when she gives him a kiss, she may want to be more than a friend. You know, she's the love interest of the film. All films have a love interest, and it's Charlotte in this one. You know, she is the love interest. Okay, so that's that bit was meant to be. So it sets up the love interest of the film. It sets up how Luke, you know, maybe has some way to overcome problems. But we're not giving away anything about how he overcomes all these problems. You know, it's implied that he must do something about it. You know, conventions would say that actually the film can't end like this. This is not a good ending to a film. People would then think, well, this is surely not the ending. You know, there's no way the ending is just him coming and getting a kiss. You know, that's rubbish. They want to come and watch it and see for themselves. You know, they want to come and see the real ending. They want to see how it really ends. They've seen all these problems and these little bits of help, and then nothing. You know, they're going to think, well, hold on a minute. I don't want to just see nothing. I want to know what happens. You know, I'm not giving away anything. A lot of trailers do that. They tend to give away the ending so that you already know what's going to happen in the film. I don't. You know, this leaves it open to interpretation. There could be a horrific ending. There could be a brilliant ending. There could be quite a neutral ending. There could be anything happen. And that's what I wanted. I wanted people to think, well, what's going to happen? What is actually going to happen? So that's the reason for that. Okay, now this last little bit. Right, we've got to the end credits now. Okay, now the reason I put those last two bits in, the last two back to basketball shots is what I called them. It does what I just said. Yeah, it goes back to the start. We're back to the start of the trailer. We've had the difficult parts of the film. We've had everything there. We've had the real reasoning behind the film. You know, it's not just a film about wheelchair basketball. It's a film about modern day life for people. And now we've gone back to the start. We've gone back to that. You know, so now people are uncomfortable. You know, people are saying, "Oh, you know, I'm scared." You know, is this, you know, this guy in a wheelchair is getting beaten up. You know, but we're back to the peaceful start where all he was doing was playing basketball. And I think that's good to get people out of the transition of being scared into now, actually I really want to see this film because it's made me scared and now it's made me feel better, and people are going to want to come and watch it. Okay, now this last little bit, I'll play it through to the end from now.
In the beginning, we're all grounded. It's our choice to rise.
So what we've had there is we've had the Time Out, Great Emotional Roller Coaster, The Guardian, British masterpiece. For those two there, it's quotes, it's movie conventions. Movies like to show when they've been spoke good about. A movie's not going to show you a negative comment, just good comments. Now, I'll be honest with you, those aren't real comments. They are just made up, but it is quite conventional. Obviously, I'm not actually making a film, so it's fine to do that. But it shows some of the things, it shows some conventions of some of the things that people would put there. They would put short, snappy comments that they liked, that give a good outline of the film. If somebody sees it, liked it, they're going to think, okay, Time Out, I want to go see. Time Out have said it's good, so I want to go see it. So it appeals to a big audience. It appeals to film buffs and the general public, those comments. Also in the background of that, just to stop people from getting bored, we've got the tagline of the film. In the beginning, we're all grounded. It's our choice to rise. Okay, that was the tagline of the film. That's what really sums up the film. So people are going to be quite empowered by that. It's quite an American thing to do, to try and empower people with something like that. People like their quotes over there, but actually it is transferring into life here. The British cinema is becoming a lot more Americanized. So adding some slightly American conventions in there appeals to a younger audience. It appeals to a much broader audience if they can feel empowered by these big quotes, really empowering, inspirational quotes. So that's why that's there, and it's Luke saying it, so it's the actor saying it. We're sticking to the actors. His voice is in there, so now we've got an association. Okay, so when people see the film, they've got an association with the trailer. When people may have already made the connection between that one, hearing Luke screaming earlier. They may make the connection between the vocals. Then what we've got that boom sound, and then the trailer coming, the title coming up. That's there for a big reason. I thought to myself, well, what if my trailer is boring? What if people really don't like it? And I thought, well, I can bring them back to it. If they don't like the trailer, they haven't cared about the trailer, they've not been awake in wherever they're watching it, well, we'll have a big boom in there, a loud boom, and then the title. So if people don't remember anything else, they remember a title taking a stand. They think, okay, well, I haven't really watched it, but I know the title of the film, it got me into, it entertained me with that bit, I want to go watch the film. And that's the reason for that, okay? And then right at the end we just have some legal stuff, just movie conventions. We have the rating of the actual film because people need to know that. We have the actors' names, the production companies, the people involved, just to cover our legal backs. And that's really the film.